You're live.
Hello, everybody.
Who?
Welcome to In the Burbs with
Amy
and
Lyle.
Tina.
And who watched The White Lotus on Sunday?
Well, you know we did, and we're going to break it down. But first, I would like to say happy birthday to you a little bit early.
Thank you.
Her birthday is this Friday. Are you an Aries?
I'm an Aries.
You and my good friend Melissa Smith, my two little Aries friends.
Hello, Melissa Smith.
Yes.
Hello, Aries. And
she is
Sweet
April
Pea.
1st, and
Melissa
she's
is
about
way
to have a birthday.
Sweeter than me.
Big birthday.
She is very sweet.
She is. She's celebrating a big birthday soon. She's going to turn 40.
Yes.
That's right.
Same.
Right, Melissa?
The same.
That's right.
Melissa
And you're 37?
37.
Yeah.
Yes. 54.
Oh, and you look great, Amy. You should feel really good about that.
Mercy.
50s look really like the new 40, 60s, the new 50. I mean, it's changed. Everybody, you didn't get your lips on before we started?
I see myself, I was like, oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, this is not a good look. I agree. It's our screen. I hope we look okay to you at home. So we're going to break down White Lotus. We're going to kind of get into it. Talking a little bit about how the relationships and how our lives compare to.
And we want to know how your lives compare.
Yeah, I mean,
if you,
of course.
had anything similar.
Yeah, with friends.
Hopefully
and
not
family.
with your brother.
Oh, I know. That's the only thing I will say that is disturbing is this whole underlying theme about incest.
It is a highly sexual show.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I've heard some people saying, oh, I can't watch that. That's gross, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you have to look at the big picture of the show. There's a lot. It's entertaining.
It's an exaggeration of real life and oftentimes. Okay, so let's
go ahead and break it down.
First. So let's start with I always want to call them the Radcliffes, but there's no C.
It's Ratliff.
It's Ratliff.
Right.
So the Ratliffes, let's talk about that and how, of course, the poor father, Timothy
Ratliff
is really struggling because he's got the feds on him about this money.
He's about to lose everything,
so
apparently.
He's going to go down.
He's going down.
And so let's talk about that first. Victoria's like, I don't think I can be uncomfortable at this age.
Yeah, she says
and then he had a fantasy of shooting her.
Fantasy of shooting her, then himself.
Yes.
And I think there is a theory, because somebody's going to die. If you're watching this, you know somebody dies, or more than one person.
Tell us who you think it is.
Well, somebody was commenting. I was watching and reading a lot of stuff about this, and I know you have been too, Amy, that he might just take his whole family out.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Because
that's not the case.
I hope not either. That's a little dark.
And
even for Mike White, that's a little dark.
I mean, we're probably about the same age as Parker Posey.
Yes.
And to have, her whole, she raised those 3 children. Now she has these 3 children. One's just graduated from college, Piper.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that, trying to maybe study there for an additional year. And so you've given your whole life to raise your family and be supportive of your husband's career. And so it would be a great shock if he's like, we don't have any money. I mean, I don't know anyone that's like, oh, that would be fine. That would be very, very challenging. And she seems like her moral compass. I know that sometimes she's a little bit.
Well, you've noticed she
judgy.
Does wear rose-colored glasses, Amy. Those are intentional. That I'm sure Mike White, her little rose-colored glasses.
Yes.
She was behind them.
We talked about this before. It was building up. You knew the husband was going to do something wrong because she's just like, I just don't want to hang out with these people. They act like criminals, and you're lucky your father, so honorable.
But when
bam.
she says that, Amy, does she know more than we think she knows? Does she know that Tim's in trouble?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
She pretending like she doesn't. Okay, I'm just another theory.
Maybe she does.
And I've heard theories where she's already got money hidden, in an account offshore, blah, blah, blah. She knows what's going on. Don't kid yourself. She's going to be fine. I've heard that. And
maybe
that's just another.
They always say
theory.
I'm reading a good book right now. The Last Thing He Told Me. I don't know if you
read it. Is that Leanne Moriarty? Is that one of her books? No, I know.
I can't remember. But that's it. It's kind of a similar situation where her husband takes off and she finds out all the stuff, and so the feds are like, the wife always knows. But
that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't know.
Yeah, this wife does.
Okay.
What about you?
So then,
hey, let's talk about that. Do you feel like you're a wife that would be in the know.
Oh, good God. Peter could have an entire family done with Vinings. I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea.
I feel like
I don't.
I know.
He
I know. I
hasn't
feel like
given me
I
any
know.
reason.
I would know.
He hasn't given me any reason to question anything. But like, if he had an entire family downtown, I'd be like, oh,
Okay.
that's where he spends his money.
Oh, Amy, you're too funny.
I
I
don't
would
think
know,
so.
and then I would be on Crime Court TV because then I would be the one that went down and murdered that person.
There would be a death.
Yeah, there would be some kind of death.
There
Yeah.
would be- Okay, so the next dynamic is the kids, particularly. Okay, let's talk about
Talking
Piper.
about the Ratliff
I'm
children.
having an issue with this.
So we're talking about
Yes.
Piper, Lachlan, and Saxon.
Saxon. So let's talk about Piper first.
Uh-huh.
As a mom, so I like Parker Posey's idea. Piper said, well, I guess her name's Victoria. I want to go to this monastery
and meet this
and stay a year.
monk.
And I thought that was at first her response was hilarious because she didn't want her, but then they went down and investigated it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, give them a solution.
No, she went around and which is funny because I was telling Amy this earlier. My kids said, Mom, if you were there, you would have done the same thing. She walked around the place, she investigated, she wanted to see where her daughter was potentially going to live for a year. But then I think she was at peace a little bit by seeing the conditions. But then she just kind of propositioned her with, you can come here, but you know what? Why don't you stay one night and see how it goes?
Which it's going to be sleeping on the yoga mat.
Yeah. So maybe Amy said, well, maybe she arranged a poor sleeping situation for her.
Maybe not the greatest 5-star meals as well.
Probably not. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like Piper's pretty determined. She seems like a strong young woman.
So all the moms out there, would you let your daughter do that in Thailand and stay and study for a year? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think I would. I mean, we're a Christian family, so I wouldn't want them to change to being Buddhist, but I would think the experience of that would be amazing.
Yes, I agree with you, but I would be worried.
Oh, I would be worried.
Because that's how I am. I'm such a worrywart. Maybe if she had a friend with her, but then maybe a friend would make me feel a little bit better.
Yes.
But I don't know, Amy. That's a good question.
Gina, did you love it? I love when Tim sat in front of that guru and asked him questions and he came out and Victoria's like, what did you think, Tim? And he's like, I liked him.
Yeah, he did. He goes, I liked him.
Yes.
I liked him. And you could see Tim's head just spinning.
Of maybe thinking about,
right? Because he was kind of being grounded, this monk, and talking about life and family and what's important.
Right.
And you could see his wheels were spinning.
Because remember in the thing, just if you guys don't remember, the money laundering was over $10 million. And he used the phrase $10 million would be a lovely amount for you to have. But Tim said it was only $10 million. Well, only $10 million is going to end up, he's going to end up in jail.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think you're right. He's sitting there being like, I
risked.
I risked and threw my morality and my honesty and my reputation out the window for money I didn't even need.
Mm-hmm. And so, he just kind of seemed like it hit him right in that moment. What was happening. So that's an interesting storyline, and we will see this coming Sunday what's going to happen there. So the 3 boys, of course, if you watched, the whole incest thing was disturbing. I just was talking to Amy earlier about this, and I'm not really sure why we had to go there.
People talk about it.
I guess it does make people talk about it, and it does make some weird people might start watching. I don't know. I'm in it too deep not to stay with it at this point.
And it was weird the way they presented it, because you're like, was it just like
a dream
or
because they were taking?
I thought he was taking care of business himself, but then Lachlan, who was hanging out with Piper in the prayer group, he had the same flashback.
Yes,
he remembered. I think that what we think happened.
It's just disturbing. It makes me wonder about, Lachlan, the young boy. I feel like there's something really deeply wrong there with him too. And
I know.
I mean, Patrick Schwarzenegger, you know, the kid, of course, I just want to call him Patrick Schwarzenegger, but he plays Saxon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's mortified that this has happened.
Right.
Humiliated. He's in some kind of like what, like shock walking around. And then when one of the characters, Amy, with the teeth, she's so cute. We have to talk about her teeth here in a minute. When she told him he was soulless, he had no soul. I think all of that was just coming into fruition there, and he's just feeling like, oh my gosh, what have I done?
And she said, "You can pay me to kiss my brother."
That's right. I mean, she had a great line.
She was so judgmental, and she's not a judgmental.
But she goes, "But I'm not judgmental. I'm not judging. But you couldn't pay me to kiss my brother." Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I mean, it's just nuts. I just don't understand why we had to bring this storyline in, but maybe it'll all come full circle as it does with his
And it was an extreme version. You know, Peter grew up with 4 boys in the house, so I'll have to ask about this. But it's like this extreme version of like Saxon being like his dad is successful. I'm going to be an alpha, you know, an alpha male, and you need to get laid, and you need to, these women, if they're easy, you kind of exploit them. Like he had this really kind of bad attitude about women, and Lachlan's more like kind of a softer. I could see him being a poetry teacher, you know, literally. He's I'm not saying he's feminine, he's just softer. And so for him to literally flip this and kind of like take that drug and kind of push himself on him and then perform this. But then, here's what is there a thought maybe that he's just confused about his sexuality right now? The younger boy, just not sure where he's at. You know? I see where you're going with that. I saw an interview with that actor with the 3 kids.
Yeah.
And he said, it's just so disturbing because I did that to my brother because I thought he would like it. And I'm like, how disturbed are you?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, that is disturbing if that's his frame of mind all the time is just to please. And you're going to go to that level he would know that his brother is so macho and would want that. So I'm like, you're out of touch.
Yeah,
and I want to know what you guys think
the
about
parents are out of touch. I feel like they're out of touch with their son. They're finding out about Piper wanting to live in a monastery, and I feel like they really need to be focusing on their younger son too, because there's some deep-rooted issues there. That's another story. Now let's move to the women. Okay, can we talk about the women?
We're going to talk about the women, and then later we're going to talk about them all coming back together at the party.
Okay, because that's what's happening.
Backwards. Okay, talk about the ladies. The 3 ladies that are on vacation.
And this kind of leads you to just talking in general about friend groups, women friend groups, which are very, you know, Amy and I are in friend groups. We're in different friend groups. We're a friend group. I mean, it's a very strange dynamic.
And it is based, like Anna told me, Gina, she goes, that's how women are. And I'm like, oh, I hope that's not the case, that when one woman leaves, they start throwing the other woman under the bus.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
it's very Real Housewives, which I'm very familiar with.
Yes. But it's also like so many times I'm like, I have to tell you something. I really love her, but this happened. She hurt my feelings.
Well, it's almost like you need support. And I've done it. I have a close friend group with 3 and I have a friend group with 3 or 4, but it happens, you know, somebody walks away. I can't say that I've never done it and gone, what's up with her? She's in a bad mood.
What happened there?
What did I say? Why is she mad at me? Yeah. and that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so they've been doing it a lot in this show. One walks away. The 2 that are left talk about the one that walks away. And it's happened with all 3 of them practically.
And Jacqueline's, I mean,
she's the actress
and she's insecure. If you're an actress, I mean, most of them are insecure. Bless their hearts. That's what drives them, you know, to seek that attention and to call her husband or her boyfriend again and again and again. And for him to finally be like, oh, my phone was dead. I was on set, which is a lie. And so then it made her insecure. And then she acted out in the most extreme way.
And hooks up with some random guy.
Hooks up with the Russian.
With the Russian guy, yeah, who works at the hotel that they're staying at, you know, fictitiously.
He seems like, I'm going to put my hair up top. He seems like a yoga instructor. And the next thing you know, he's got these kind of like criminal Russian guys that he hangs out with. It
Mm-hmm.
was an interesting twist.
Dynamic there.
Okay, so Gina, what do you think about in that, and what do you guys think about in that show, the last show? Jacqueline was pushing Carrie Coons's character, Lori, like, he's so hot, you're single, you're so hot, you're single. And that guy and Lori were dancing together. And I think Lori was coming around to the idea, like,
maybe I can hang out with him. Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, Jacqueline has him in her bed and she's seducing him. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty crappy.
Yes.
Don't you? I feel that was one of your best friends and you're there together on a trip. I mean, that was dangerous. Why would she do that? I know they were drinking and all that. Doesn't excuse it. That was wrong. That's terribly wrong. And that could ruin their friend group right there.
I know.
When the truth really comes out and they all discuss it, that their friend group could be totally damaged from this.
Okay, so I just read something in an article and it was talking about Kate's role, and they were playing the side that they truly thought that Kate would just think it was funny. Like, you're not going to believe who snuck, like, because she's just not the type of person that would have sex on vacation with a complete stranger. So for her, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so she didn't realize that Carrie Coons, the Lori character, would have such a reaction of like, I kind of liked him and I was going to hook up with him. And
it's like they thought they were acting like they were back in high school again, and being jealous of each other. Yeah. So, it just goes to show, Amy, it doesn't matter how old you are with friends, women especially. You can be 30-year-old, 40, 50, 60-year-old women. You still can get in these little high school-ish arguments.
You had asked me earlier about the tennis trip, and I was like, there was no drama. And I do have to admit, at one point, I said, is she mad at me for something like that?
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
And then she goes, oh, that they're just always in a bad mood. It's not you. And I was like, okay, because I thought maybe they were mad, but they weren't mad. So whatever.
When you go spend 3 or 4 days with people, you get to know them.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yes.
Right?
Luckily, my group of girls hello, group of girls. I love you.
They're good.
They're solid.
And y'all been doing this for what?
20 years.
Yeah.
So there's
the ones that cause
very little drama.
The ones that probably cause any drama have been kicked out and not allowed to go. Am I right? See? Yeah.
They don't get invited back.
There you go.
Okay, now let's go on very briefly
to,
we're going to talk about Amy and Rick. And just real briefly, I thought this was cute. I saw an interview with Amy, and she was maybe on Graham Norton. It was a British show. Don't quote me on that. And she was saying how all these orthodontists were making TikToks and Instagram saying, this is exactly the situation with her cute teeth.
Explaining her teeth.
And how you fix the teeth. And then she said what was sweet is they always ended with like, she's so adorable. It makes her unique and I wouldn't change a thing about her. And that made her really happy.
Is
she's
cute.
Like something that she really got made fun of as a child, and it's grown into an asset for her.
So now it's like her teeth have their own little entity. But Brits are known for not getting good dental work, right? That's just pretty common. Most people know that. But, Stan says the same thing. I sit there and watch the show with him. He goes, all I want to do is get a hold of her teeth. I mean, every dentist and orthodontist watching is probably freaking out. But that's sweet that somebody said that. And I think she is cute. It's grown on me now. I will say the first episode or so, I was
so
like,
we're not used to that.
It's just like, because everybody in America gets their teeth fixed.
And let me tell you, it's such a rare thing in the United States. Like when I was watching the Game of Thrones, if you guys watch the Game of Thrones, Sam Tully's wife or girlfriend, Jilly, she had buck teeth. And I was like, that's so distracting. But I don't know if they're real or fake, the buck teeth.
But we know hers are real.
Her teeth are real.
Amy Lou Wood is the actress. She's so cute. I love every interview I've seen with her.
And she is so sweet, and she's like sincerely worried about Rick.
Yeah.
And the way she speaks about him is very kind, and she's like, she doesn't want him to have this revengeful nature. And even though he's kind of a jerk to her, she's like, he's my soulmate.
I know.
I know.
She's either just living in La La Land behind her own rose-colored glasses, or she truly believes that. But I do think he's coming around a little bit with her. He gets softer when he's around her.
She's the real deal. She really loves him. And I don't think he's had that in his life.
Probably not. We're seeing some of that, the backstory on that. So what do you think is going to happen with him?
When he gets into the room? I think it's going to be very anticlimactic. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. That is like, I think the mother may have just made it up.
Well, did you hear this, or did I read this somewhere? Or we talk about this, that the guy that he's trying to kill, that this man that murdered his father,
the hotel owner's husband,
right?
Mm-hmm.
That possibly he is his natural father.
Perhaps. And then somebody else said,
a rumor about
somebody else said maybe the woman that owns the place is a lady man.
Oh gosh.
And that's some kind of tie-in.
Who knows?
I don't know about that.
Knows?
Okay, let's talk about Gina. Let's talk about next the party. So Greg/Gary, used to be Greg when he was married to Jennifer Coolidge's character on season 1, is back, and he has that magnificent house.
Unbelievable house.
I saw an ad today,
and
Gina,
that's somebody's real home.
And it was a similar property as that
in Thailand.
And I don't know if it was in Thailand, but it was someplace in an island like that.
Gorgeous.
And it was like $233,000. I was like, what? It's just so cheap over there. But I don't know what the situation is in Thailand, but it was.
I think it's got to be less expensive there
property
than here.
So he's hanging out over there, and he knows that Belinda knows.
Right. So now he's inviting everybody to the party.
And she's going.
She's going, and she's bringing her son. So my guess is he's staging some event. The murder is going to happen at that beautiful home somehow. And the more people he gets there, those are going to be for his distractions, or we don't know who did it because this one was there and that one was there. He's maybe trying to stage some kind of accident. I don't know. And I'm not sure who he wants to kill. I feel like he might want to kill Belinda because she knows the truth about him. That's my theory.
What about Saxon and Lachlan having sex with his girlfriend, with Greg Gary's girlfriend?
I don't think he cares.
No,
I don't. I really don't, Amy. This guy's a complete loser, scam artist, murderer.
But he's definitely okay.
He's using that girl.
Do you know what I think he's going to do, Gina?
I
think he wants to watch that woman have sex.
Maybe
with Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Oh, maybe something's going to go on. He's got some fantasy. Remember, he had some weird fantasies with Jennifer Coolidge when he was in scenes with her.
No,
back in season, what was that, season 1?
What was the fantasy?
I just can't remember. I just remember he wanted her to just. I have to go back and research that and get back to you on that one.
Was it any maybe he's bisexual kind of a vibe?
I don't remember, but there was an issue there. There was something going on. So the big party is going to be the big event. That's what's going to happen. I think it's going to take 2 episodes, 7 and 8, of course. Before we get, it's going to build up next week. We only got 2 more episodes, right?
Okay, yeah. So Gina, who do you think I like?
3 more.
3 more episodes?
No, we just had 6, right? No, 2 more. 7, 8. That's it. 2
okay,
more.
So who do you think is going to? There may be multiple murderers. Who do you think is going to be one of the murderers? I think Lachlan, and I think I can never pronounce his name. The cute little sweet security guard.
Gay talk.
Yeah, he seems all innocent, but like Gina pointed out, he was an excellent marksman.
Yep.
Staying out there, and I'm thinking he's got some rage in him. Like something's going to happen. He might have to take someone down. What are you guys thinking? What do you think?
Well, if thieves come back, something's going to happen. We saw it. We know something. The murderers come, and there's going to be a big commotion going on, and we saw that he can shoot a gun. He's going to kill somebody. Maybe it'll be accidentally.
You think?
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I don't know that he's going to be. Well, he could be the killer.
He could be.
That could be like a very ironic.
It's like he went postal.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you. In the preview, do you remember the part where Belinda's son was in the swimming pool and he's trying so hard to get to her?
He finds the body.
Was that in the resort swimming pool, or was that in Greg Gary's swimming pool?
That looked like the resort swimming pool. Good observation.
Okay, so there was some shooting going on at the resort swimming pool.
There might be shootings in several locations. We might have a big old shootout at the end of this shooting there and a shooting and then it could get really interesting.
I don't know. It's just such a great. This guy, Mike
He's
White, is such a talented writer.
Even though some of it's dark and kind of
slow,
gross at times, you're like, really? You got to take that out of just don't think about it too much.
Yeah, it's just like taking real life and blowing it out to the extreme
Mhm.
to make good TV.
Make a good series. And it's got everybody talking. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. So what else, Amy? What else you got?
That's it. I'm excited. Peter and I are going to go down to our little favorite spot in Darien for my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
And he and our friend Drew met this lovely couple that just moved down there, and we're going to go have a cocktail with them and get to know them. And that's always nice. And
well,
listen, Drew, congratulations. They bought a home down there.
Oh, that's
and
your
it's
good
just
friends.
Gorgeous, very southern, very Melissa.
Oh,
and so
very nice.
Every time I do the show, I strike myself with this.
See, I have mine turned.
It's like a balance of being able to hear and not when I turn sideways.
Well, I hope you have a very, very happy birthday weekend. And
thank you.
Yeah, I got just a little treat. Your gift is on the way.
She got me a treat. My girlfriends are spoiling me. Gina's spoiling me, and my
see
girlfriend
if it's
Kimmy
arriving
last night
yet.
invited me for dinner and then spoiled me with all kinds of presents, and I felt like I'd won the lottery, and I actually teared up a little bit because I felt so loved and special. So thank you for making me feel
her package is on the way. I've searched it. It'll be here by the end of the day.
That's even going to be better because
then
when I get
next
back
time
after my birthday, I'll get an after birthday present. It'll be so nice.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out. Did I talk about I did stand up this past Sunday night?
Gina did stand up.
It
and
was
tell
so
them how you
fun.
opened.
Well, I opened with a little Parker posing and Piper No and Buddhism, and I took a gamble, not knowing if the audience would be aware, and everybody knew. Everybody knew what we were talking about.
The crowd roared.
That's what the thing. I'm sure there was a few people that was like, "What? Who's she talking about?" But it was a fun set. I hadn't been on stage in a while since my knee surgery. So thank you, Mark Evans.
Thank you, Mark Evans and Lori Evans.
Yeah, they do this alumni show from the Jeff Justice Comedy Workshop that
Thank
Amy
you,
and I.
Jeff Justice, for making us funny. Making us funnier.
So it's a little group of comics that come together, and Mark gives us the opportunity to get on stage and kind of have some fun. And it was a great show. I enjoyed it. Next time, you're doing it with me.
I know. I'm trying to finish a project, and Gina and I talked about when we do stand up, we become obsessed.
We do,
and you can't do anything else. So I had to get something done by the end of the month. So
that was important. I know.
I'm still not done, but I'm almost done.
Okay. Well, thank you for hanging with us today. I hope you'll give us some feedback on why you're watching White Lotus and what your theories are, and we'll get back together
and we
next
hope that
Wednesday.
You share this.
Subscribe. We're trying to do this YouTube thing. Just hang with us. It's gonna get good. I promise. It's gonna get real good. We love you.
Okay, we love you. Bye. Happy spring. It's beautiful. Get outdoors. Oh, here. That's hits the like button. End it.